Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. So for those who don't know me, I'm Julian O'Neill, so I'm the chair of the board and also will be your chair for today. Also joining me on the panel, I have Jackie Littlewood, who's going to be our sort of compare from ABCL, which is our trade body, and help me through the process. We've got Ian Brewer, who a lot of you will know. We've got Andrew Bowker, who's the chief exec, Jamie Buller, the office manager, and Ian Fletcher, who's the chair of our Finance and Risk Committee. So first of all, I'd just like to welcome the Lord Mayor, members, staff, directors, and everybody else who's joining us. And I'm going to hand over to Jackie for a second just to do some housekeeping comments. Jackie?
Hi, welcome everybody. So everybody that's joined the AGM this afternoon is in listen-only mode. So we'll just go through some housekeeping. So throughout the meeting, you will have the opportunity to ask questions and you'll be able to type these into the device that you're using for the AGM. So if you're using a PC or a laptop, it will be in the control panel, which is on the top right-hand corner of your screen, and then scroll down to where it says questions and just click into the little triangle and you'll be able to type any questions in there. So that's if you're using a PC or a laptop. If you're using an Android device, it's indicated by a question mark at the top of your device. If you click into that question mark, again, you'll be able to submit any questions that you have throughout the meeting. And if you're using an iPhone, it's indicated by a question mark at the bottom of your device. Like I say, we'll be checking the questions throughout the meeting, so if it pops up into your head, just type it in there and we'll pass it to the panel at the relevant part. The documents that we'll be going through today throughout the AGM are all there in the handout section, again on your device in the control panel. There's handout 3 out of 5 and you can download those documents to your own device. There will be some electronic polling going on this afternoon, so I'm just going to release a test poll for you to test your technology. So it's what is the weather like in your area this afternoon. So if you can just click in the relevant buttons, dry, wet, mixed. I think we put snowy in because I think we had a lot of snow this time last year. So
Yeah.
I think I've been on to the this morning that they're still having snow today. So so we've got 25 members on at the moment, so more people joining us. People that have joined us, there's 79% have voted on the test poll. That's gone up to 84%. People are getting a hang of using the device. So if you've just joined us, we're just doing a test poll to test out the technology on the system. Okay. I'll just close that poll. So thank you for voting, and the results will be shown immediately after the poll has taken place. So just to reiterate, any documents you'll find in the handout. If you're using an iPhone, it's indicated with a question mark at the bottom of your device. An Android is at the top of your device, and an PC or a laptop, it's in the control panel questions. Just had a couple of having an issue with the councillor's camera, and the aides seem to think the camera slider may be covering the camera. If we could just check that for us, councillor, that would be great. Maybe the slider's covering your camera. That might be why we can't get you on camera.
I don't know, I tried, nothing's happening.
Okay, no problem, thank you. I'll just hand it back to Julian to start the meeting.
Okay, thanks Jackie for that, for going through the housekeeping for us, and that's great, thank you. So for those of you who just joined, could I just welcome everybody? And now it's my pleasure to introduce the Lord Mayor, Councillor Shabir Hussain, who's going to open the meeting for us. Councillor, over to you.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone. I'm sorry you can't see me, but it's all due to technologies. I'm not to blame, I can assure you. I got here at 1 o'clock and I made sure I sat here at 1 o'clock and made sure I did everything right, but I'm sorry you can't see me today. As the Lord Mayor of Bradford, I'm delighted to give you all a warm welcome to the members of Bradford District Credit Union. This year marks the second AGM as a webinar due to COVID and celebrates the major milestone of passing 8,500 members, which is a huge achievement when you consider the member was just 3,000 6 years ago. The pandemic has highlighted that it's more important than ever to help residents get into savings and habits and be able to access low-cost loans. In lending, they have been able to offer great products which are making difference to residents across our common bond. Becoming a new member of the credit union myself, I can personally see how credit union assists members in many schemes, payroll savings and the loans for employees, and loans to assist vulnerable families, along with many other services. All to help people to become more financially secure. The Bradford Credit Union is now seen as a role model for financial inclusion, partnership, work and leads to anti-poverty event group. This group has helped to pool ideas and resources for the wider anti-poverty agenda in the district. With the credit union as the anchor and the acknowledgement, the partnership and the support for the Bradford Council for the wider project grants and supports the final inclusion work they undertake. Please take time to ask a question in the chat, which will be answered at the end of the webinar. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. And I'm sorry you can't see me, but I very much hope I can stay on this and enjoy the rest of the meeting. But I can hear you all, and that's more important. So at least I know what it's like when you can't see somebody. So I'll let you all carry on. Thank you very much. And I'm here. I'm on air with you.
Thank you very much to the Lord Mayor for that opening address, and also for becoming a member. Much appreciated. So can I just check before we move on with Jackie and with Andrew that we have a quorum, which is 15 for today. That everybody except the staff and the directors are entered into the prize draw, and that there are no apologies from directors. Andrew, can I just check that with you first? Sorry, can't hear you, Andrew. I think you're on mute, but...
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Dave Dickens is not attending.
Okay, thank you. That's great, thank you. Okay, so if I can move through the agenda then, if that's okay. First of all, the minutes of the last meeting, the last AGM, which is on the 18th of February 2021. They've been posted onto the website and also onto the documents, as Jackie's mentioned today. Can I just sort of ask, first of all, whether anybody has any points of accuracy on those minutes? And secondly, whether any matters are arising. So if you have either of those two things, if you put them into the chat, then we can pick those up immediately. So I'll just pause there for a second while somebody just checks that for me. Jackie?
Yeah, there's nothing in at the moment. If there's anybody sat side by side, if there's two members sat side by side with each other on one device, if one person can type their reply to the polls in the question tab and the other one vote electronically. And if you can just let me know who's sat with who, that'd be great, just for the numbers. So thank you, David.
Thank you. Okay, so I take it that there aren't any points of accuracy or matters arising from the minutes. So if I could ask for somebody to propose those minutes, if that's possible. Ian, is that a nod of the head? Yeah, so Ian proposed on myself to second, and can we, Jackie, now have the first poll, please, for everybody, just to confirm that they're in agreement with that. Thank you. Okay, so if people could put their thoughts in there, and Jackie, if you just give me a confirmation of the numbers.
It's 3% of members have voted out of the 30 members. So it's the 60% yes and 40% abstain as they didn't attend the meeting last year.
Okay, so we have a majority of yes then. So if I can take that as passed. So thank you for that. Thanks for your participation. in that poll. If I could then move on to the reports. We've got a couple of reports today. First of all, from the Chief Executive, whose role is to update us on the performance of the credit union, let us know how things have gone in the last 12 months and any sort of issues that he wants to bring before the membership. And then from Ian Fletcher, who's going to talk us through the audited accounts in a few moments. So Andrew, I'm going to hand over to you to start with to give your report.
Many thanks, Julian, and welcome to all. I hope you can all hear me. Yeah? Well, thank you. My report is as follows. As with the previous year, the credit union has faced a very challenging year with the ongoing and changing pandemic. As you may have seen in the draft financial accounts available, the credit union has continued to grow and serve its members to its best ability. In summary, the BDCU's three main objectives and aims are to be a viable and accessible alternative to high street banks and other high street lenders within our new expanded common bond area of Bradford, Kirklees and Craven district. To be a modern and ethical organisation that supports and encourages savings, budgeting and lending for our members, and to extend our membership and services in a sustainable way to all, inclusive of financially excluded communities. The credit union has ensured that through the crisis we have continually remained open for business and being able to offer our main objectives and service by ensuring the credit union online banking system and web page has been made available to all who wish to use it, and to offer quick, faster payment service so funds can be made back into members' bank accounts the same day. Prior to the first lockdown, we offered the debit card where members could gain cash from the ATM and at the point of sale services such as shops, supermarkets, along with being able to purchase goods online. In case of emergencies where the above could not apply, we opened up a service where cash again could be obtained by supplying a voucher which could be used in any post office. Payments into members' savings accounts can be made via their bank accounts, standing orders, payroll services directly from the member's employer, using a debit card via the web page, and at any pay point shops showing the signage. The credit union has a fully operational website showing the services and the lending applications available. There have been some major changes. Some members may have had difficulties adapting to the services, and also with the services at City Hall not being available to visit or gain cash from. The majority of saving members have adopted well. The savings deposit book continued to grow at a very high rate of 18.5% in the year. And the membership, as mentioned by Councillor Shelby, has continued to grow to a very high rate of 8,500 members. We will not be offering cash services directly from City Hall whilst we occupy the current office premises. As stated earlier though, we do offer facilities by using bank accounts, debit cards and post office services. The pandemic has shown how the BDCU will become a more modern, able to adapt and operate more modern credit union, able to adapt and operate in the coming years. We will continue to look how we can improve services for our members. The loan book began to show improvements compared to the year before, with the slight growth. It's anticipated that as members begin to undertake normal activities again, we will continue to see this area grow. We offer loans of all types. The credit union has to remain sustainable, and we have a duty to ensure that members are able to afford the loans prior to being offered. Again, services have improved in the lending processes that we undertake. The Bradford District Credit Union is one of a very small number of credit unions actively working with local councils to promote membership and assist in increasing the levels of financial literacy. And the Bradford District Credit Union is now seen as a role model for financial inclusion partnerships. This group has helped, the credit union has been part of a number of groups. These groups have helped pool ideas and resources for the wider anti-poverty agenda in the district, and with the credit union as the anchor. The credit union continues to gain increasing support from Bradford District Council, and Ian Brewer, our Financial Inclusion Development Officer, who is supported by the Council, has worked extremely well with many organisations this year, developing loans and savings products to assist vulnerable families, along with many other services which all help the people become more financially secure. Ian worked with loan shark money laundering teams to assist those using high interest rates, helped develop a COVID loan to assist members who were furloughed, also a food savers scheme to encourage savings, and uniform savers scheme, again to encourage saving, to mention a few. We value the partnership and support of the Council, and may, on behalf of the Credit Union, offer my thanks and support to Councillor Hinchcliffe and the teams for the project grant work to support the financial inclusion work the Credit Union undertakes. The pandemic has also highlighted that it is more important than ever to help residents get into savings habit and be able to access low-cost loans. With Ian's help, working with the project teams, we have been able to offer great products that are making a difference to residents across the Common Bond area. As I mentioned at the beginning of my report, BDCU has had a challenging year, especially where and how our staff could work, arranging remote working and the resources change and the resources changing in the year. We went through a very critical period in the last quarter of the year when, due to many reasons outside our control, we had high staff turnover. We wish Humza, Sophia, Olivia and Nimra, who left during the year, all the best. We thank them for maintaining growth with the major changes. I also wish to thank all the staff who have worked and have continued to work through this last year. Jamie, our operations manager, who returned back to work after a very serious illness. As mentioned before, Ian, our financial inclusion and development officer, who assisted in his normal duties and also assisted in the office roles wherever he could. Emma, assistant manager, who again assisted to a high level when we had very, very limited staff to turn to. Alison, now administration officer, who again assisted in keeping the ship afloat. Paris, our remaining apprentice, and Bryony, our customer service assistant, who went on maternity leave and we're very pleased to report as a healthy baby daughter, and we're returning back in 2022. Now, around 3 or 4 months ago, we successfully recruited 3 new high-quality employees, plus another high-quality employee, to assist in the additional grant work now being undertaken. We now have Kia, our new loans officer, Caitlin, customer service assistant, Nicola, credit control officer, and Siobhan, business development worker. I welcome all to the team and happy to confirm we now have a much stronger team again. I also wish to thank the board for their support and advice during this period, and we all look forward to 2022. And finally, I wish to thank all members for the continued support of the Bradford District Credit Union. Thank you, and I'll pass this meeting back to Julian.
Okay, can I just check, Jackie, at this stage that we've got no questions for Andrew coming through?
No, there's no questions, just an apology from Peter Judge, just to pass on his apologies that he arrived late.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to continue in terms of thanking people. And first of all, thank Andrew for that report. But secondly, to thank Andrew and all of the staff for the sterling work that they've done over the last 12 months. It's been another difficult year and they've put in an excellent performance. In addition to the staff, I'd also like to thank my fellow directors, all of whom are volunteers and give readily of their own time. And I'd like to thank the key stakeholders in the credit union, being Bradford Council and in communities, and also to various people, council teams who work closely with us, including the payroll team, including Sue Brealey and the team who are looking at the finance and also credit control. And I'd also like to thank Kirklees Council and their payroll team. And last but not least, the members themselves, thank you for your continued support. If I may then move on down the agenda to Ian Fletcher, who's going to give us a report on the financials. Ian, over to you and the audited accounts.
Thank you, Julian. Are you receiving me okay? Right, great. So members should have seen a copy of the financial statements for 2021. This year, it's a mere 39 pages that we serve up to you, which deals with the things which we are required to tell you, and the things maybe that we want to tell you. The credit union, as Andrew has said, has had difficult challenges during the past year because of the pandemic. When we had this annual meeting last year, I thought it would be the only remote annual meeting. Well, maybe I hoped it would be the only remote annual meeting. And here we are again. Let's hope next year that we can have a real meeting face to face with all our members. So the first 10 pages of the pack deal with the director's report. And that gives you the meat, the things that you can read. It tells you about who the directors are of the credit union, and we keep appealing and asking for others to join the board. Tells you about, reminds you about our aims and our purposes and our objectives, and it tells you about our activities. And we've already heard from the previous speakers that we've very much been doing financial inclusion work in partnership with the council. We're not part of the council, we're entirely separate to the council, but we've done a lot of work in partnership with the council, who have been a great help to us. And Ian Brewer in particular is getting his name well known, not only nationally but also internationally as our financial inclusion officer. And this last year there have been particular things which we've done, which were things like the furlough grant, the COVID loan scheme. We've worked hard on the family loans side of things. We've worked hard on webinars. We've worked hard on the unlocked loan. We've done some tremendous work with food savers in setting up an arrangement with them, and also with uniform savers. These are all things which are helping people who are otherwise financially disadvantaged, and which, if you like, are additional to our core business of making loans and dealing with savings. We always want to encourage savings, but one of the issues that we have faced is that during the pandemic, savings have increased enormously, and we have not been making as many loans as we would like to make, and that leaves us facing the future just with some slight worries that we would like to make more loans. So we would like those of you who can afford to repay the loans to be borrowing more from us. We're fully open for business, but we don't at the moment have an office where we can meet with people. But you know, we've made tremendous strides in learning about everything that one has to learn about to do with online methods, and I'm hoping that all of you have seen the results of that. In terms of the basic stuff, we continue to look at our risks on a regular basis. We try to foresee where things are going, and our accounts for the year, when we move on from the director's report, page 11 gives you the audit report, which is a clean audit report. It runs these days from page 11 through to page 14, but there's nothing in there of alarm. It's a clean report, and our auditors are happy with us, I think is a way that I can express it. Page 15 gives our revenue account for the year, and you'll see that we've made a surplus this year. We had a deficit the year before, 2020. This year we returned to surplus, but with reduced income, because our loan book, while it increased on the year just slightly, it went in a kink shape. It went down and then recovered towards the end of the year, which reflected the effects of the pandemic. And of course, we're not yet out of the pandemic. We need, you know, as a credit union, as your credit union, we need to be making more loans because it's by making the loans that we become sustainable. Our savings side is higher than we would probably like it to be compared with our loans, and that is something which has been exercising us of late. You'll see on page 16 our statement of comprehensive income that we put aside some money, grant income set aside for family loans. That's to cover losses on family loans of 19,000. So we had a surplus for the year of 46,000 and an amount that we set aside of 19,000, giving comprehensive income of £65,000 on the year. Page 17 shows our balance sheet, which is satisfactory. We're showing there net current assets of 8 million. We've got a very small amount of fixed assets, and we've got a provision in there which is to do with the pension scheme, which reduces our net assets to £7,965,000. You'll see that there's a change to our changes in equity shown on page 19 and page 20, and our cash flow statement on page 21. If anybody has any queries about these, then bring them up in the chat box. Then our notes to the account start on page 22. If you want to read all of them, it's good reading. If you've got difficulty sleeping, just try it, before turning over in bed. But in there, some of it is just because we're required to do it. Some of it maybe explains some of the other numbers in the accounts. And there's no point me going through every single figure in there. If we were in a room, I would see which notes were of interest to the members and perhaps pick on those to give a bit more information about. In many ways, the main note, as far as we're concerned, is note 15, which describes the pension position in considerable detail. So if anybody does have any queries regarding the notes, please do just pop it in the chat. And I think that gives you a very rapid run through of 39 pages of type and print. For many members, the numbers I know are a turn off. The words, I remember a meeting with the Charity Commission when they said to me that people were far more interested in the words than the numbers. That was when I was a little bit younger and a little bit more naive. As an accountant, one thinks people are interested in the numbers rather than the words. So please do raise any queries which you might have. Thank you, Julian. There's a couple of things I've then to move on to. One is to do with dividend. Do we have any queries before I deal with dividend?
Nothing's
No?
come through yet.
Okay. We're suggesting a dividend of 0.1% this year. We wanted to pay members a dividend, but our position is not such that we can afford to pay any sizable amount as dividend, because we need to have regard to next year's figures. We start the year with a lower loan book than we would like. We are hoping that the loan book will build up, but we don't know what the ongoing effects of the pandemic might be. Omicron is the version which we're hoping is now on its way downwards, but we don't know what might follow on from it. So what we need to do really before we can start talking about larger dividends is to build up the loan book, which is down to ourselves and yourselves in terms of that. So we're wanting an approval of a decision, and we'll come to a poll in a minute, of a decision to pay a dividend of 0.1% to our savers. And then we will move on to the appointment of the external auditors, for which we are suggesting the reappointment of Halliday's as our auditors. Halliday's have done us a super job. They understand credit unions because they audit a number of credit unions. They've given us lots of helpful advice, and they, I would suggest, earn their fee. So can we perhaps, Jackie, move to a poll about the decision to pay a dividend to save? Oh, I think first we've a poll, haven't we, for receiving the accounts?
Yeah.
So can we put up the poll for receiving the accounts? So if people can vote, do you accept the audited accounts and financial statement for 2020/21?
Thank you, David. Just got a typed poll there. So we're at 76% of the, now got 34 members on the AGM. 76% of those people have voted so far. Just give it a few more minutes. It is a majority vote, but there's only 76% of members that voted. You can get those votes in, please. So we're at 76%, Julian. It is a majority vote.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if we can move on from that to the decision to pay a dividend. Do you approve the board's recommendation of 0.1% dividend for 2020/21?
Again, thank you, David. And we've got a majority vote for that. 79% of members that voted for that. It's a majority.
Okay. Thank you. The final one is the auditor, isn't it? Yeah. Go on, Ian. Sorry.
And then if we can move on to the appointment of Halliday's. Do you accept the reappointment of Halliday's as auditors for the coming year?
Thank you, David. That's a majority vote at 79% for the auditors.
Okay, great. Yeah. So thank you very much for voting on those three things. If I could just quickly pick up on a couple of things that Ian said. First of all, in terms of request for directors, if there is anybody out there who would be interested in becoming a director, then please let us know. We are looking for further directors at the moment. And the second one was that, yeah, certainly open for business and willing to lend. So if anybody does want to loan for anything that fits our criteria, again, please let us know. Please let us know. We are looking to do more lending, as Ian mentioned. Okay, thank you, and thanks again, Ian, for that. If I move on to item 6, election of directors, and the two directors, we work on a sort of 3-year rolling basis. And the two directors that are actually up for review this year are myself and Ian. So on the basis that we're on the panel, we felt, and I apologise, Rosie, I didn't mention you earlier on as being on the panel, but I've got a fellow director, Rosie Watson, who's on the panel with us, and Rosie is going to take us through this part of the meeting. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my privilege to recommend the two directors to you this afternoon. As Julian said, it's himself and Ian, both of whom you've heard from already. and you can see how much hard work they do. Julian is chair of the board and of this meeting. And my phone has gone off at just the wrong time. I'm sorry about that. Ian, as you know, is chair of finance and has recommended things to you this afternoon. So you can see how important they are to us. We're proposing that it's an en bloc vote, so that you vote for both of them together rather than an individual one. And I'll ask Jackie now to open the poll for you, so please use your vote.
Thank you.
So it's, do you approve of the board's recommendation to re-elect the directors en bloc?
We've got David. Thank you, David. We've got David Foley, and it's 86% of members have voted, and it is a unanimous yes.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Thanks, Rosie, and thanks to the members for that vote. So we move on through the agenda, getting on with this quite quickly. Next to the prize draw and donations. So Andrew, I'm going to pass back to you and Jackie to do the prize draw and also to tell us about the donation that we're making this year. Can't hear you, Andrew.
Sorry, I'm now unmuted. Thank you. Thank you, Julian. As we have it annually, we have the prize draw, and as Julian just mentioned, the donation. I have Jackie here, who does an excellent job on putting, correct me if I'm wrong, Jackie, all members who qualify into a draw, and then we spin a wheel. We have 3 prizes this year. Rather than doing a first, second and third at different amounts, we believe it's fair because so we're having 3 draws for £50. So if Jackie, maybe you could commence the draw, would that be okay?
Yes.
You should see your name on there somewhere. It should be spinning somewhere. And we've got one, I think, have we?
Well, the first name is Barbara. Just double check. But yes, Barbara's with us this afternoon. So Barbara's the first winner. Well done, Barbara.
Well done, Barbara. We'll have your number and we'll be putting the funds into your account. It'll be tomorrow, but it'll go into your credit union account. So well done. You're the first draw. Congratulations. The second one.
Well done. So I'll just double check. They're in attendance. And this member isn't in attendance. Do you want it rerunning, Andrew, or do you want the prize to go to Kadja?
Well, we rerun normally people in the who attended the meeting. So yes, please rerun. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, just double check. Yeah, definitely not. Just double check that one. Well done. Yes, Dash John's in attendance. Well done. That's the second prize.
Congratulations. As we said, we'll put the funds in your account tomorrow. Another £50 will go into your membership account. I'll wait till the third one. I'll also say what you can do if you wish, where you can put the funds. But if we'll go for the third draw, please, Jackie.
And Stephen's in attendance with us as well. So well done, Steve.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well done, Steve. We'll do the same for yourself. You have, of course, the option. I'm not also to be able to put it into the fund that we contribute our donation to, because we don't have we're not having a face-to-face AGM. We are saving funds on i.e. unfortunately no food, etc. And the cost of that is approximately £250. So we're donating it, as we did last year, to the Lord Mayor's Appeal, which is the supports the Marie Curie Hospice and the Bradford Community Kitchen. So we're putting £250 to the fund. And as I say, if the members who have the draw, please, the money's going to your account. If you wish to if anybody wishes to donate to the Lord Mayor's Appeal, if you either email, either email credit.union@bdcu.co.uk stating you wish to do that, or you can personally, but you probably won't have a pen in front of you, you can personally email me, andrew.bowker, B-O-W-K-E-R, andrew.bowker@bdcu.co.uk. Congratulations, well done, winners. Your money will be in your accounts tomorrow. Thank you, Julie.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, congratulations again from me. So, in terms of the agenda, it's really sort of on to any other business. So, if anybody has any other business they want to raise, then could I ask them please to put it into the chat so that Jackie or Jamie could read those out. So I'll give that a couple of minutes just to see if people have got anything else they wanted to ask. Any questions as well in there, please?
There's one question that's come through. It's from David, and it just says, fuel poverty is due to increase from April. What are the plans for BDCU to help mitigate it? Okay, so Andrew, do you want to answer that one? I mean, the first one that comes to mind, I guess, is things like the family loan, but what else would you add to that?
Well, yes, you're quite right. There are problems appearing for members. I mean, subject to, how can I put it? A member being able to sustain a loan, we can offer loans from as little as £200 up to a much larger amount. Ian Brewer, our Financial Inclusion Development Officer, is working with teams of people. I'm sure this is being discussed, but certainly we offer loans for all reasons and to assist people, subject to, of course, people being able to afford that. All I can say to you is, yes, we'll certainly look at it in greater depth with pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a question of if people want to take a loan to spread that cost, then that's something that we can do in terms of having monies to give to people. That's something probably that isn't in our gift. Andrew, is that a fair comment?
Yeah, you're quite correct on that, Julian. It's more on the fact of the financial inclusion side, if anything is available on that side. I don't think we have anything on that at the moment, do we, Ian? Yeah.
Can't hear you, Ian. Ian, you're on mute.
That's fine, thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Thank you. I couldn't unmute myself there for a moment. Yes, obviously there is definitely the lending side. The family loans are very, very important. We're working with the council and other stakeholders, many who are on today. We have the Food Savers programme that helps people save in the community and get access to low-cost food. As a move on to to food banks. On our website is Food Savers, if you look at those and the different outlets that we have. And the Uniform Savers, which is also in collaboration with the council, is enabling people to save up for a uniform and get £100 towards their uniform in August. So both of those programs are on our website under savings. If you look at those are major things that we've invested in to help people in that, and we will continue to look for new ways and new programs to help people.
So I guess the answer is by way of loans and by way of other schemes that we're helping people who are in poverty with, I think is the sort of summary, isn't it? Hopefully that answers that question. Great. Anything else, Jackie, that's come in?
Just a comment from Simon to say, as a former chair, can I congratulate Bradford District Credit Union on a solid year of business. Wish you well for the next year.
Thank you, Simon. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Okay, so there's no other business then. Anything else, Jackie, that we've missed or anything we should pick up before I close?
No, everything's been answered. Jamie's answered people direct. And
okay.
just David's votes in there.
Okay, so thanks to everybody, thanks Lord Mayor, thanks everybody for their time, and also for their participation in the polls, etc. Thank you very much again, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. To leave the AGM, if you go to your control panel at the top right-hand corner of your screen, it says File, and then drop down to Exit, and then Leave Webinar.